Are you ready, Jesse?
Yeah. Hey, thanks for clicking this morning only after school podcast. I'm Jesse Johns,
And I'm Trent Kelsey.
I'm Seth Kirkman.
and today we are going to be talking about the new John Wick movie, John Wick Chapter 4, that recently just came out in theaters on March 24th, I believe, right?
Somewhere
Uh,
around there.
yeah, it came out last weekend. I know me and Seth, we just recently watched it recently, and we kind of want to give a thoughts up about it a little bit. And Trent, I know you said beyond this point you only seen the first one, right?
Yeah, I've only seen the first one, and I like the first one, but nothing was really bringing me back to watch it as a franchise, I guess. But I think the first one's like a good, decent action movie, one of the
Yeah.
best. So
Is it really one of the best? Because you only seen the first one.
I think the action is really well done, especially since it was directed by a stuntman, so you can really see they knew what they were doing when it came to the action and all that. Like that was the emphasis, and they did it really well.
Yeah.
I came to watch them shoot people in the head, but
Yeah,
I guess
Uh.
that is one of the cool things about these movies. I guess is the world building. Like
Yeah.
it just kind of increases with each new one, which it's a little weird. The first movie, I guess, which you've seen, Trent, it is somewhat realistic. I mean, you could somewhat believe it takes place in the real world, but after that, it almost
Yeah.
gets into fantasy type stuff. It's not
yeah,
fantasy, but the world building kind of gets a little ridiculous, which I enjoy it, but it's like a comic book almost.
yeah. It's like the secret Illuminati type world
Yeah,
of
basically.
assassins where it's all secret, and you see more of the assassin world than you do the real world. So yeah, you're right. It does kind of have a fantasy kind of feel
Yeah.
to it just for that reason.
I know if you ever watch the sequels, there's a lot of scenes where they'll literally just be killing people in broad daylight in front of hundreds of people, and
Hmm.
no one notices or reacts. And I think the directors kind of did, to show how the assassin world is different from the normal world. They're their own, they're almost different realms or something. But
Yeah,
Yeah.
and even if nobody's there to see John Wick kill 100 guys, there has to be a cleanup, right? Like
yeah,
the police are eventually going to find that warehouse, and they're just going to find 40 guys all sprawled out, and bullets all over the place, and
yeah.
they're going to be like, "Huh, this has been happening a lot lately." Oh
Yeah.
well, moving on.
But yeah, I
Well.
think all these movies take place within a couple weeks of each other too.
Oh
So he's
really?
killed
Yeah.
maybe the first three. I don't know what the time gap is with the fourth one. I'm assuming it's longer because he's perfect. In the third movie, he gets seriously hurt at the end.
Mm.
So
Yeah.
by the
He
fourth
does.
one, there's had to been some kind of time gap because he's pretty well back to full health by that point. But in the first three movies, it's within the span of a couple weeks, and he's killed 400, 500 people all
Hmm.
by himself. So yeah,
Yeah. It's just crazy. Actually, interesting thought when it comes to these John Wick movies that I think they're all directed by the same director. All of
I
them, I
know
think.
Chad Stahelski did he's done two, three, and four. I think I don't know. Did he do one? It's not him and David Leitch did one, and then I think Chad Stahelski took over after that.
Oh, really?
Yeah, right
Chad?
now I'm
Yeah.
just looking at Google. It might be. Yeah. So he directed all four. Chad
They directed. That's what I
Stileski.
thought.
Yeah. And he
Yeah.
was also a producer on this new one, but he wasn't a producer on, well, he was an executive producer on Chapter 3, but
Okay.
Yeah,
And I think, and of course, this number four takes place after number three does, and actually said they never even. I don't think in the movie. I don't think they ever told how long when does this takes place because, like you said,
yeah.
at the
I
very beginning,
always just
number three.
assumed it was. I would just assume it's whatever that at least a year or something. I always just assumed it was whatever the time gap is between when three came out and when four came out. So that would be 3 or 4 years, I guess. But it doesn't really
Yeah,
say. It doesn't really matter. You just know there's some kind of a time gap in between the two.
yeah. Well, I remember the plot of this movie. basically again, basically after number 3. Basically, he's still a ex. How do you say it?
Excommunicado.
Yeah, excommunicado. So basically, he's wanted for murder for wants $1 million. On this movie, he basically wants his freedom. That's basically how it is in this movie.
And
And
Bill Skarsgård, he's like he wants to kill John Wick because of like how he's kind of evaded the table for a little while.
yeah,
That and
Yeah.
they keep saying like they want to make like an example out of him because he's been disobeying the table for like 4 movies.
Yeah.
I guess by this point they're kind of like, well, we gotta put
And no
this guy
matter how many
down.
people they send after him, he just kills them all.
That's
So
the funny thing
Yeah.
too is like at this point, why is anyone trying to? Because like for basically 2, 3, and 4, the whole movies is just his bounty going higher and all these people trying to kill him. And it's
Oh
like
yeah,
at some point you would think that these guys would just quit after they've seen him kill the last 200, 300 people they sent after him. So,
mhm.
but
yeah.
they
I
always
wonder
just
what
keep
would
going.
I wonder what would happen if they just said that they killed him and then he just kind of like went off into hiding. But do you think that would like annoy him and then he would kind of reveal himself to be alive? Like I wonder if that would be like in his character to do like could they just say, "Yeah, we killed John Wick." Do you think he would kind of come out and be like, "No, they didn't. Like I'm still alive."
Yeah, just
I don't know.
pride forces him to. Yeah.
Yeah.
I mean, the whole
Yeah.
point is him trying to get free. So I guess if they thought he was dead, he would be okay with that. But
Hmm.
Um, and also, I remember in the movie, so I think where he goes first is Chinatown. Is that right? Or does he go to Tokyo? Can't
I think
remember.
he's in a
you're
desert
talking in
first.
chapter
Was he in
four.
desert first?
Yeah,
Yeah,
he
he's in a
starts it off in the
desert.
desert.
Okay, he's in the desert first. I remember he was trying to.
Well, he goes to the desert first, and then he goes to Japan after that.
Hmm.
Okay. Yeah, that's right. He did go to the first. I think the desert. He was wanting to get his ring back, right?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Okay. Yeah, he wants to get his ring back. And I remember, what was it? Well, I can't remember. He said that you come all the way down here for nothing. He's like, yeah, not really. He ended up shooting him. I
Hmm.
was like, yeah, I had a feeling that was going to happen, but it's still kind of cool at the same time.
Yeah.
That
And I
guy
remember
should have
later
just
on,
like thrown his ring somewhere randomly, like in the desert before he got there, because he'd never find it.
He didn't
yeah,
have it anyway. He came all the way to the desert, and the guy's like, "Yeah, bro, I don't have it." And he's like, "Oh
Yeah.
darn."
He's like, well, I mean, I came all this way, so I might as well shoot you.
Yeah, basically.
and then I remember Winston, the character named Winston. I remember he got in trouble during the movie, right?
Yeah.
Is he the is he the concierge or the hotel like manager?
He's the
He's a whole
manager.
He's a
Manager, yeah.
manager. Yeah,
Yeah.
yeah, he's a manager. And I remember later, and the same exact scene, Trent. I remember when you said Bill,
Skarsgård,
yeah, Skarsgård. I
Pennywise.
remember, yeah, Pennywise. He looks evil. I'll
Mhm.
say it right now, Bill Skarsgård, you look evil, bro.
Yeah, he's a good actor. Yeah, he
He's not
plays
bad. Not
yeah.
bad. I mean, not terrible. It's just not bad. Uh, I think if I can remember correctly, because I know it's been almost a week when I watched it. So I remember he basically wants Winston, you know, basically like why you let and well, I think it said was Mr. Wick's alive, and he's like, wait, how? And so now he wants revenge of Winston.
Hmm.
So he did it a different way. So that's how John Wick comes back into the saga.
And he blows up his hotel.
You know an awful lot for this movie for not having
Yeah.
seen it.
Yeah, I mean, I just saw like trailer bits and stuff like that.
Wait, no, Trent. I never seen that clip during like YouTube, or whatever.
It was in the background. You needed a red circle to see it.
Okay,
It's like those BuzzFeed articles where they, go into every tiny little detail and
Yeah.
theorize about everything. Yeah.
Yeah, Bill Skarsgård. Yeah, good choice for a villain. I think
Mhm.
he did decent as a villain in this movie. Donnie Yang, he's in it.
Yeah, he's playing another blind guy after Rogue One.
Yeah, he's basically a daredevil in this movie.
Yeah,
Wait.
he's not blind in real life, right? I mean,
No.
no, yeah. I just
No, wait.
thought that was a funny coincidence. They
Wait,
have him
did
play
Don-
another blind guy.
Wait, did Donnie Yang? Did he play a blind guy in Rogue One?
Yeah, he was the guy. He wasn't like a Jedi, but he kind of had the Force and he had the stick, kind of like in this movie.
Maybe they're the same character
Oh,
because technically Star Wars takes place in a galaxy far, far away a long time ago.
Right,
So maybe
right.
he just traveled the galaxy and survived the Death Star explosion and
Hmm.
never aged, and now he's
yeah,
Donnie Yen. So
yeah. Well, I
It just
remember in the
blew him
movie.
all the way to Earth.
yeah,
Well,
he's just that good. He's just that strong.
I remember while I was watching it, I was like, "How are you fighting the way you are, being a blind man?"
Hmm.
Because that it's pretty impressive. Man, in real life, could that happen? Probably not.
No.
I mean,
Now,
just
if you had some doorbells, you could probably do it.
Well, that was kind of what I was talking about earlier with how like these movies get progressively more ridiculous, like in a good
Hmm.
way, but they get progressively more ridiculous. Like in the first movie, there is no way they would have ever had like, some blind guy that can kill everyone just as good as John Wick. And like, but by the time we're in chapter four, it seems completely reasonable for it to be in
Yeah.
this movie.
yeah,
In the first one, it might have been like one. He wouldn't have been like a character or anything. He might have been like one guy that was kind of like a surprise. Like after he's beat up all like the nameless goons, he's like the one guy that shows up and they have a little bit of a fight scene, but then he beats him in the end.
Yeah,
But in this one,
yeah,
they're pretty evenly matched.
you just
So
got to put
there's the
crickets in it.
desert, and then there's Japan,
yep.
and the Japanese fight scene is pretty cool. I hear.
Oh
Yeah, it
yeah,
was pretty awesome.
Mhm.
it was a pretty awesome fight scene. Nunchucks? Are you kidding me about those nunchucks?
Yeah.
Oh my god, that was pretty incredible. No, during the fight scene, whenever they all find out, oh, John Wick's in the building, go get him, go kill him.
Hmm.
And I remember that scene. Also, Seth, while we're watching it, every time with John Wick and any other person, it's a suit and it's about like this, right?
He wears
I
it
was
like
like,
a shield almost. Yeah,
He has
yeah,
like a
it's like a shield.
Kevlar line
It,
thing.
yeah.
I mean, it didn't drove me. I mean, yes, it kind of did drove me nuts, but it didn't exactly drove me nuts in a bad way. But that was like, how's that possible?
Did he have
Well,
that in
if
the
this
first
were,
one?
he didn't have it in the first.
No.
I mean,
Mhm.
he had like the bulletproof vest under his
Yeah, he
shirt.
had a bulletproof vest, and that's about it.
But like by the
Uh,
second movie, he gets the actual, like the suit,
Mhm.
yeah,
which is kind of funny because he does that a lot in the movies where he'll hold up like the bottom of the suit, kind of like shield or something. But it's like why don't you just shoot his legs?
Yeah, or like,
And
yeah,
then
why are you aiming there?
yeah, I mean, but if these movies were even somewhat real, he'd be dead in like the first 20 seconds. But
Hmm.
he
yeah,
didn't come for that, so.
Yeah. You'd also like run out of bullets too.
Yeah.
They never run out of bullets in these movies.
Well,
no,
that's the funny thing is like for as crazy as they are, he actually has to count his bullets, has to reload when the gun goes out. In any other movie, he'd just like, be firing like 50 rounds from a 20-round machine gun or something, but
Yeah.
he has to reload every single time the gun actually goes empty.
yeah. And also, I remember, and of course, in number three, they had and these villains or agents or whatever you want to call them. I remember they had these special armor suits, and I remember there's no way a bullet can get through a guy with this armor. I thought it was kind of cool that you had to get, yeah, they literally had to get through the neck or to kill a guy in this movie. So I thought that was kind of neat.
Yeah.
Uh,
I think that was kind of the thing with like the first movie. It's like no one had like the suits like that, and all you had to do was shoot them once and they're dead. And it's like, well,
Mhm.
you can't really do that for four movies. So by this point, you gotta introduce something to make the kills a little more creative.
yeah. Well, and also beyond, and also I remember John Wick usually goes for headshots. Body first, then headshot. Because that's what it was in the first two films. And I remember he's trying to go for that, but it's getting a little harder to kill people, so they have to put special suits on. So he's having a hard time trying to find a
I
better
think
way.
it's funny. It's like it seems like the heavier the arm, he'll put like four bullets in their head. Like there's the
Hmm.
one guy he's fighting in Japan. I think they even show it in the trailer. He like shoots the guy like four times in the head, and then he like cuts his throat. And it's like I think that's kind of overkill. Or then
Oh
in the
yeah, I
third
remember
movie,
that.
the same thing in the third movie. It's like where these two guys fall in a pool, and he shoots the guy like four times in the head underwater. It's like I could understand like maybe twice, but by like third and fourth time, I think I'm pretty well sure he's dead. So
Oh yeah.
Yeah,
I
Oh
think
yeah, I do remember that now. Yeah.
I don't think there's a single person he shoots only once. Even if they're not wearing armor, he usually like even if they're lying there not moving, he'll shoot them, just for good measure, just to be
yeah,
sure.
Yeah. And I remember later on in that Tokyo scene, that's when Donnie Yen shows up, right? Or
Yeah,
his character.
I mean they introduced him earlier, but that's like the first time he starts fighting.
Oh yeah. And I thought the John Wick scene and the Donnie Yen scene. I can't remember his name. I think they call him like Chain or however you say his name.
Kane, Kane.
Kane. So Wick versus Kane in this one Tokyo scene. I thought it's kind of funny to me at the same time cool but funny. It's just you all know that it's just ridiculous the way that scene was.
Hmm.
Well, that was actually the most realistic. If he really were blind, that by far played off the most realistically because he had like these doorbell things he'd put on the wall, and if someone passes by, it makes a noise, so he would know it's there. Like they constantly have him like tapping stuff with his stick and whatever, so he can like. But like after that point in the movie, he basically just operates like a normal dude. Like he doesn't
Hmm.
have to. I mean, he still taps stuff or kind of acts a little weird like a blind guy would, but by that after that point, he's basically just a superhero. So
Yeah.
I mean, it would be hard to continue keep up the whole blind guy improvising shtick for like 3 hours, but
Hmm.
Yeah.
it is like after that first scene, they're kind of like, okay, he's just a normal dude by this point, basically.
Yeah, he
Yeah.
probably has like a heightened sense of smell or something like that.
Yeah. Or I always assumed it was like sound.
Yeah.
I always make a big deal out of him like hearing stuff. So
I remember in that scene, Kane later on he killed the father of a girl. Uh, during that later on that scene, y'all remember that?
Yep.
are we doing full spoilers here? Because like there's a lot of stuff we can talk about if we don't with spoilers.
Yeah, yeah, that's
Well,
fine. I'm fine with that.
Okay.
wait, are you sure about that?
Yeah.
Okay.
Well, the ending is the big part, but I guess we'll get to that in a
Yeah.
second.
Hmm.
Yeah. And then that's when Kane gets in trouble, right, Seth?
Yeah, well, that kind of like comes back. I guess in the post-credit scene, we waited like a whole 20 minutes for the credits to finish, and then I was expecting this awesome post-credit scene. It was like 5 seconds long, and it's basically it was a sequel bait. I'm like, oh, come on.
Oh, there was
Oh
a
yeah.
post-credit scene.
Yeah.
Yeah, there was. Yeah, there was.
I heard
Yeah.
there's supposed to be like some spin-offs or something like that.
How we
Actually, that
doing
was
with yeah Ana De Armas, right?
yeah. They're
Hmm.
doing one and they Armas, and I know they're it's called Ballerina. I think it's what it's called. And
Yeah.
they're also doing a TV show about younger Winston when he was younger.
Hmm.
So I think that could be interesting. Uh,
I don't know
Isn't
how well
Winston
those
like
will do.
the Ian McShane character?
Yeah.
yeah,
Mm.
yeah.
See, I
Uh,
could see Ballerina doing fairly well. I don't know about the hotel show. I think
Hmm.
most people watch these movies for Keanu Reeves. I don't really know if that many people care about Winston nearly as much. So I don't. I may be wrong. I don't really see a TV show about the hotel doing
yeah,
nearly as well. I guess, but
Yeah, they'll kind of spin off anything now. I mean,
yeah,
they throw so much money at TV shows, but I mean, it still never looks as good as a movie, except unless it's like Game of Thrones or Stranger Things or something like that. But
yeah.
yeah. I think ever since John Wick franchise happened, I think they're just trying to make it where you're gonna get a they're gonna make a spin off about this character. Oh wait, we're gonna make a spin off about that character. That was originally in John Wick movies. I think
mhm.
that's what they're trying to go for. And I know Ballerina is actually the first one to have that.
See, that's the one problem I think they're really going to have is like the way this movie ended. Uh, yeah, I'm going to spoil the ending here. He dies.
Mhm.
Now, whether or not he's really dead, that kind
He's
of
not
like
dead. He's not dead.
see now if they choose to make a sequel, which they could definitely do it because they somewhat left it up to interpretation. Like you never actually see him die; it's just like heavily inferred. So if
He
they
just slumps
wanted to make,
over.
yeah, and then they like show his grave, but they would like it could be like he faked his death so he could get out because he spends like all these movies trying to get out of the assassin world.
Hmm.
So he
Yeah.
could really be dead, or he could just be faking it. But uh, shoot, I completely forgot where I was going with this.
You're basically saying since they left him not dead, but to make you want to feel
They
like
could make a sequel if they wanted to, which
yeah
that's where my problem with this comes in is I don't really know. I love this movie. I thought it was awesome. I don't really know if they can keep this up much
Hmm.
longer.
well
Keanu Reeves is like the main drawing point of these movies, and if you keep making them, at some point, not going to really be special anymore. I can't really see any spin-offs being nearly as popular without Keanu Reeves either.
There's,
Like I'm sure
I'm
they'll
not.
do semi well, but they'll never be
Yeah.
as popular as like the John Wick movies are. So I don't see them having a good way out of this, I guess, if they continue to keep going with it.
Yeah, I think it'd be better to like end it on a high note
Yeah.
because I
Yeah.
mean,
Well,
even if the TV shows get like moderate to like good reviews, I mean, it would still be kind of lame to go out that way rather than, the last movie, you
Yeah.
know.
That's why I would, if this were the last movie, I would be perfectly fine with that because
Hmm.
if
well,
it did end with him dying, it was a satisfying conclusion. Like it left him off pretty good. So,
well.
and
I
yeah.
remember. I remember the whenever he was when he's been shot, three times during the ending. They have a duel at the
Hmm.
end. Remember at the end, he told Winston he would go home. He thought, of course, Jonathan, or I think that's how you say it. Uh, and then I remember in that scene, he said Helen, because that's his wife that passed away in the first one. Uh, I think what's my opinion. I think the reason why they did that death was that way John Wick can finally have his freedom because that's what the point of this movie is. He wants his freedom. He wants to quit playing. You know, he basically wants people to just quit coming after him. But
Hmm.
and that's where I think that's when to me he faked his death because I remember at the end chapter 4 I was like he'll be back.
Yeah,
One
because
could argue
even
that.
though like the table technically said like this is his way out, they're not going to bother him anymore. He might not trust them by this point. So if he's,
No,
dead, then they'll actually not
well,
bother him anymore
well that's
if they
probably
think he's
why
dead.
he faked his death because he don't trust. I mean I don't blame him because if he was a hitman for a long time, if this type of experience, that's understandable.
Hmm.
And
I've read a lot of things too where like I think your point where he's faking his death is probably actually more likely because this movie did so well. They're probably going to make a sequel at some point. So he probably did fake his death, but if he
yeah,
didn't, you could also say like he didn't really have anything to live for anyway. His wife is dead. His home
Hmm.
is destroyed. His dog is dead. He doesn't really have any reason to continue anyway. So like he found his freedom in death or whatever. But
Right. And he probably
yeah,
feels like if he did get it like another dog or whatever, he probably wouldn't trust that someone somewhere wouldn't mess it up for him
yeah,
because I mean he was basically trying to do what he was doing in this movie in the first movie, just kind of go off and live his own life and leave like the assassin life behind him, but they couldn't let it go. So
yeah.
yeah. No, and Trent he did got another dog at the end of John Wick 1. Remember?
That was the funny thing is it's like in
oh,
this
I
new
forgot
movie
about
for
that.
like 5 seconds and then it's never spoken of again.
Hmm.
They
Yeah,
completely dropped the dog storyline almost completely.
yeah. I mean, and also why I think it's cool about these movies that there's no John Wick without a dog.
Yeah, I'm
Uh,
glad the dog in this one didn't die. I was kind of
Yeah,
worried
they
when it
did.
hit that windshield.
Yeah, the car.
Yeah.
Yeah,
yeah. Ballerina. Speaking of that spinoff, any news? The last time I heard, they actually are filming it right now.
Mm.
But it won't set until spring or summer of 2024, and that's the way I was reading it. So yeah, so it looks like we're getting a Ballerina movie next year. And also Winston and John Wick will both be in this spinoff. The way I read it. So
doesn't it take place like between chapter 3 and chapter 4?
actually, I don't know.
I
I
think
really
I
don't.
think I read that somewhere because like again by this point they still don't know if he's really dead or not.
Yeah.
So
Yeah.
if it were after chapter 4, obviously they would have to confirm he's alive, but they're not doing
Yeah.
that. So
Yeah, I'm just
Yeah.
reading about
I'm
it
pretty
now.
sure.
It says
Yeah,
the spin-off film is inspired by a scene in John Wick 3 where John spots a ballerina slash assassin in training while meeting with the director of the Roscoe Roma crime syndicate. So yeah, it
Oh,
could even if it does go like past the fourth one, it'll probably start out like earlier on in the series chronologically.
yeah. Yeah. I'm kind of interested in seeing a ballerina movie as I did like Ana De Armas in that No Time to Die, and I did like her in The Gray Man too, even though she was kind of brief in the movie. So,
In
uh,
the what?
I was not a big No Time to Die fan, but go ahead.
Oh yeah.
I thought you were ready to say bad things about Gray Man again. I mean, Gray Man, it was just okay
I
movie.
didn't like
Oh,
Gray
the
Man
Gray
either,
Man.
but
Yeah, no, I never saw
Yeah,
that one.
yeah, the Gray Man, it's all right. I mean, Ryan Gosling and Chris Evans. That's all you need to know, honestly.
Yeah.
Yeah. But anyway, so yeah, I think if she gets more movies, I think she will be the most familiar actress, I guess you can say. So I'm looking
I
forward to
think
watching the Ballerina movie.
she's already a very popular actress, I think. So
Yeah, I think she was nominated for Blonde, if I'm not wrong. I mean,
Oh, really?
yeah, she lost to Michelle Yeoh, but if she was, I mean,
Oh, yeah, yeah. Oh, yeah. That's right. She did lost to Michelle Yeoh. Yeah, you're right. You're right. Um, but going back to John Wick, the best part in the movie, the fair part, is probably when they're in France.
oh, when they're in traffic,
Yeah.
that was probably my favorite part of the movie too.
Oh man. Oh yeah. They even played the French Paint Black.
oh yeah, yeah,
Uh, oh yeah.
Well, they
that's
had
cool.
two scenes in the movie I really, really liked. Well, I like the whole movie, but they had, is it called like the Champs Elysees or something like that? I think it's the Arc de Triomphe. It's that big monument in the middle of Paris with like the roundabout around it. But
Oh, okay. I think I know. Remember what you're talking about. Yes.
yeah,
Yes.
I think it's called the Arc de Triomphe. But
Yeah.
anyway, and they're like just shooting at each other with like like 8 lanes of traffic going in between them, and guys are
Hmm.
getting
Oh
run
yeah.
over and
I
flipped
remember that
over
scene.
cars. And there was
Kick out of
that,
that
and
scene.
they had a one like a little bit right after that where like the camera takes like a bird's eye view. Like, have you ever played Hotline Miami, or do you know what that is?
I think I know
Uh,
what you're talking about. It's like shot from like the top
Yeah,
down.
from like over the top, like you're looking down on their heads. But
Right.
and
yeah.
John Wick has like this dragon round breath shotgun, and like, but you like see him just from the top, you just killing all these guys like in this big circle around him. It's just so
Yeah.
cool.
And it's like
And
a one
the way
shot
they,
kind of thing.
yeah, it was a one shot, and
Yeah.
they just like filmed the whole thing overhead. It was just really cool.
Oh yeah, I remember that scene now. Yeah, I was watching it. It just looks like a not. Yeah, it kind of like a video game, like you said, but it was kind of neat because you kind of see. And also another cool part about that scene is that when they're shooting a gun, this fire comes out, and so it gets the guy on fire, and I thought that was kind of cool. You know?
Yeah, that was a Dragon's Breath round. So
Yeah.
Yeah,
Yeah.
apparently the
instant Furies.
director was inspired from a video game called Hong Kong Massacre. Um,
Okay.
which I'm guessing like the point of view and the Dragon's Breath shotgun are both from that, so that's pretty cool.
Yeah. No. Well, it seemed like the director is really wants to keep this franchise going. You know,
Mhm.
what's his name? Chad
Trent
Sindiger?
Stahelski.
Jessica. I can't
It's
speak
either
today.
Stileski or
Stilinski,
Stahelski or something like that.
still Stahelski, yeah.
So it's good.
Yeah.
This is good. But no, I know him and Keanu Reeves. They both really worked on these movies, and also what I like about these with this series, they like to take their time with these movies too. Because I know the first one. Actually, I actually rewatched the first three John Wicks before going to this new one. That's just recently. So I remember the first one came out in 2014, second one 2017,
I
third
think it
one
was 16,
2019.
wasn't it?
No, it was 17.
It was 17. Okay.
Yeah, it was 17 and 19, and then now 2023, John Wick Chapter
Mm.
4.
Yeah, apparently this one was supposed to release around the same time as Matrix Resurrections.
Thank
Yeah,
God that
But
didn't happen. That would have
yeah,
been a mistake.
but like I mean, if you're a Keanu Reeves fan, like why would you or like for the fans, like why would you release them on the same day? I feel like that would like hurt one of them. Because I mean, like if you're a true fan, I guess you'd see both of them, but your average person isn't gonna see
I
like
mean,
two movies in a row, kind of
well,
thing.
the thing is with me, I'm not the biggest Matrix fan. I mean, I do like the first one, as a movie,
I
because I thought
guess
it was a
kind of
cool
like
movie.
how it is with everyone. Is everyone likes the first one, and then
Hmm.
like everything after that's crap.
Yeah, well,
I mean,
that's kind of how it was with
they weren't
John Wick.
crap.
Like,
They weren't crap. They were just better, I guess you say.
mhm.
Like the new one though, Matrix Resurrections, I think I say it. It's just
Yeah.
that it was just like a pointless fourth movie, in my opinion. But anyway, uh, you know what's funny? I was just thinking about this. While I remember Matrix 4 came out first before John Wick did. I was like, so I guess Keanu can't couldn't have a fourth John Wick unless he did Matrix.
Yeah.
That was
Well,
kind
I
of
mean,
funny.
and the director of the John Wick franchise, he was Keanu Reeves' like stunt double, or he did stunts for the Matrix. Like that's how they uh knew each other
Knew
for
each
John
other.
Wick. So yeah.
Oh, really? Well, the way I read that Keanu does his own stunts, filming John Wick.
Hmm.
I
Yeah,
actually
so
listened to a podcast the other day where he was in it. He does do. He says he does action. So like he's doing all the shooting and the fighting and stuff. Now like if he, I guess if he's getting hit by like a car or they're throwing him off the ledge or something like that,
Hmm.
maybe that's a stunt double. So I don't know if he does like 100% of it. He just probably does like 95% or something. So I mean, it's still
Yeah.
really impressive. It's more than most actors will
yeah.
do. But
Yeah,
Well,
and
not
it might not have been his stunt double. It might have just been like the guy who was like the stunt coordinator, maybe. I just know
yeah.
that the director of this movie, he worked on The Matrix too. So
yeah,
Oh, okay, yeah. Uh, and I think, and Keanu Reeves, I think he does great as John Wick. I mean, I can't see anybody else playing John Wick role. I was thinking about this. I know we're talking about future movies. After, if Keanu Reeves says he's done as John Wick, after making say like seven, right? If he says he's done, right? And do
yeah.
y'all think
seven.
they're gonna continue on, or y'all think they're gonna hire a new actor? What do y'all think?
Well, they'll probably reboot it in like 20 years with an entirely new person. But
Yeah, but by then they don't have to hire actors. They can just scan somebody's face and do whatever they want. So
they'll just have Chat GPT write the entire movie and
yeah.
come up with the actors and everything. Yeah.
I mean,
Yeah,
eventually there won't even need to be like dialogue. It'll just all be action. It'll
Well,
be
shoot,
on.
some of the sequences in this movie were like action for like 20 or 30 minutes straight. And like,
Mhm.
I love it. I
yeah,
know I've heard some reviews where they say they get tired of it, but like, more. I need more. That's how I
Right.
go
yeah.
for it.
That's what chapter four is basically is. I want more.
Yeah.
Because I remember I was going for Facebook or TikTok, as a TikTok better sample. Everybody kept saying John Wick Chapter 4 is worth your time and definitely is the best one in the series. I go, really? You know,
Mhm.
because honestly, I like number three, but to me, number three will have to be down at the bottom for me. It's just, like I said, still a good movie. It's not dragged, I guess you can say. But this one did not drag at all. I mean, it really didn't. And I think what's cool about number four, that it's almost 3 hours long, 2 hours and 49 minutes. I think is what the runtime
Yeah, it's a
is
full
that
hour longer than the first one.
what?
You never feel
It's
that
a
runtime.
yeah, it's a full hour longer than the first one.
Yeah, well, I remember the first one's like an hour 40 minutes or something like that. Second
And this
one's
one's
like
like
2 hours.
249.
Yeah, and
Yeah.
I remember the second one's like 2 hours. Three is 210, and this one's 249. So
I was about to say, you never feel that runtime though. Like, I
Hmm.
mean,
no,
this movie just breezes by the whole time.
it just keeps on going as it go on. It keeps you interested, and I think it's and also the movie they did what they said they were going to do. It's going to keep you interested, and you're not a minute waste, and that's what I thought was great about it.
Hmm.
And that's why John Wick Chapter 4 I have to give. It probably is. I hate to say it, but this actually is my favorite John Wick movie right now. Because at first it was number two, but now it's number four. So
Speaking of like
I
right
also,
now, like if we're speculating that he might still be alive, do you think that Keanu Reeves would even want to do another one?
I know he
he,
said a lot of times, doesn't he keep saying, like, if fans want us to make another one, we'll make another one or something like
Mm.
that. I
yeah.
know I've read a lot of things where both him and the director say we want to give it a break. So, like, it'll probably be a few years if they do decide to do a new one. But
Well,
I
it's
do
also
think,
good.
yeah, if they wanted to do a new one, I think he would be up for it.
Yeah.
Well, and also, in my opinion, I know they said they're going to give John Wick a break for a moment, for the moment. I think I think they're going to try to come up with new ideas. When it comes to like new characters, and that's what I like about this movie too. It introduce new characters, and also they,
See, I could
bring back
see
old
them doing
characters.
like the Donnie Yen spinoff. I could see that. I would go and watch that. Like, he was a pretty
Hmm.
cool character in this movie. Like,
Yeah,
normally I'm kind
impossible
of,
though.
yeah. impo- if you're looking for realism in these movies by this point and you're going in with the wrong idea, you got to go in with the
I
heavy
mean,
dose of suspension of disbelief. But if you can do that, then like the movie's a blast.
I
Mhm.
mean,
But, like,
I mean, tell you the truth, John Wick should have died like if he is dead, but he's not. I mean, I don't think he is. But anyway, he should have died in number three, just the way he got hurt at the,
well, that
you
was
know.
the funny thing about this movie is like, okay, so at the end of three, he falls off like a 6-story building,
Mhm.
and like it nearly kills him. Like at the end of the movie, he's completely injured and stuff, but like he does, he falls off like a 60-foot like drop, hits a steel railing, hits concrete floor, gets up and he's fine. He jumps out like a 4 or 5 story building, like
Mm,
hits a car on the way down and lands
Mhm.
on concrete. And he gets up and he's perfectly fine. He like gets thrown down like 200 stairs and he gets up and he's perfectly fine. And then at the end of the movie, he gets shot like once in the stomach and he dies. And it's like,
Yep.
out of all the stuff, all the stuff you've survived, this is what does you in.
Yeah.
yeah,
It's like it's like he was ignoring his injuries till the very end, and then it all kind of like
It's just
came
like,
came
I'm kind of
crashing
done
down
now.
on him.
It's like, I just quit. Yeah.
Yeah.
I mean, and when Chapter 5 comes out, which I'm pretty sure it will, I'm definitely there at the movies and go and watch it because I don't think I told you guys this. The reason why I want to go watch John Wick 4 is because I saw number 2, number 3 at the theater, so I might as well go see 4.
Right.
So might as well keep that streak because I'm a bigger John Wick fan than I am with the Matrix fan. I mean, I know people if people watching the video are like, no, Jesse, why'd you say it? No, it's just my opinion, you know.
Mhm. Yeah, I wouldn't say I'm like a Matrix. When you say like Matrix fan, do you mean just like the first movie, The Matrix, or like the franchise as a whole?
Franchise as a
Because
whole.
I would say I think The Matrix is a better movie than any of the John Wick movies, just the first one.
Okay, okay.
But yeah, because I think
Um,
it's like it's kind of like revolutionary action and like a really original plot and all that. So it
no,
has
I
that
get it.
going for it. John
Seth, you
Wick
saying
was kind of like a story that's been done before, the retired assassin coming out of retirement to
Also, the
um
no?
story is very generic, but
but the
Yeah, I
action
mean,
is like what
for
saves
the
it.
time when it came out, like I'd say like foreign movies maybe were kind of doing some of that stuff by then. Like, have you ever seen The Raid? The
No,
Raid
but I've
was
heard they're
like
good.
that. Those two movies are awesome, but like
Mhm.
I don't think anything in Hollywood, like Western movies, had really done anything like that by that point until like John Wick, and then that was kind of like the turning point. And now you see like action movies all the time are kind of like that. So I think it was very revolutionary for like the actions. The story, you're right, is completely generic, but like I guess the action and the way they filmed that was really revolutionary, I guess.
Yeah, and
yeah,
I'm not faulting the story for being generic because I think like it's meant to be about the action and
Yeah.
like they don't really need like an entirely original plot. And I like the plot of the first one too because usually in a movie like that it would be like they would kill his wife or his family or something like that. But instead of
mm,
that, his wife is already dead and they kill his dog. And somehow that just makes it like makes so much more sense, like why he
Yeah.
would hunt down all these men. Because like, what kind of monster
well,
does that? That's just,
well,
yeah.
in the first one, I know you say you seen the first one, but you remember in the first one, his wife had a sickness. She had some type of illness, and he knew the time was going to come for her. And I thought was really cool about the first one that he left her one last gift, puppy, you know.
Hmm.
And then of course they decided to kill his puppy. Honestly, every time I
Yep.
watch that scene, that breaks my heart every single time. You just kill his last, you know, because I like dogs, you know.
Yeah.
Well, I'm a dog person, so.
Everyone likes dogs, Jesse.
Yeah. I mean,
Uh, not some people that I know.
you
Trust me.
The
you
psychopaths,
can kill
maybe.
a person on screen and like, not everybody's gonna be affected by it, but you kill a dog in a movie,
Mm.
You're
everybody's
going to
fighting.
die.
Like,
Yeah,
yeah, I mean, it really validates the fact that he would want to like, shoot all these guys.
yeah.
Mhm.
I and also I get a kick out of these movies. And Keanu Reeves, though, he knows how to play it well. So
Hmm.
and I think he's great as John Wick. So. Oh, and also, I found out that the movie made $75.8 million this opening weekend. That's
You gotta
Pretty
remember it's a
impressive.
rated R for a rated R
Yeah.
movie. That's
Yeah.
I mean,
Oh,
they're not going to make nearly as much money as like a family friendly Marvel movie or something like that. So
yeah.
I think
Mhm.
Oh, I forgot to say. While we're watching the movie, Seth, I'm wondering if you remember this. While we're watching it, I remember this one scene in the movie that this one fat dude was killed. It broke his neck. I heard one girl scream like, "That's," I was like, me, I just started bust up just laughing. I'm trying not to,
see, I
I'm trying to
Mhm.
thought
watch
the
the movie.
worst part of the movie, there's this guy, gets stabbed in the hand, and I don't
Oh
remember what the
yeah, I
Yeah.
reason.
remember that
And
now.
he has to
For
Yeah.
pull
some
it
reason,
out.
yeah, I don't remember what the. Did they say like they were going to kill him if he just pulled the knife out like the top of his
Yeah.
hand? Okay, so they said they were going to kill him
Yeah.
if he did that. Instead, he has to like pull his hand out like that, and that
Yeah,
was
I remember it
nasty.
now. That
Mhm.
was gross. That was nasty, dude. Oh, ooh.
Looks
I
pretty
mean, like
real too.
every single one of these movies has like that one scene that's just like really nasty because like they had in the third movie they had like the knife slowly going into the guy's eye, and
Mhm.
I
then
remember it. Yeah. Yeah.
two they had like a guy getting a pencil shoved down his ear and stuff. So
Yeah,
those
I
have like
remember it.
yeah
Donnie Yen
I
gets the
remember it.
pencil in this one, doesn't he?
yeah,
Yep.
Yeah,
and
he
he puts
does.
it like through a guy's hand or something.
Yeah, Chain does it, right?
Kane,
Kane,
yeah.
yeah.
Yeah, Kane. I'm gonna say Donnie Yen because I can't say his character's name
I
right.
don't think anyone calls them by their character names anyway. They're all just the actors.
Yeah,
Right.
like Ian
Well,
McShane and Pennywise. I don't
yeah.
know their characters' names.
Yeah.
Yeah. Oh, I gotta say, rest in peace to one of the actors that passed away recently.
Yeah, Lance Reddick, right?
Yeah, Les Reddick. Rest in peace to you, sir. Good job with these movies. You will be
Mhm.
missed. So,
Yeah, I
okay.
was just reading now. I didn't know that I didn't know that he died until like
Oh, really?
just recently, yeah.
So I remember I was watching a little bit on Facebook, whatever. They say he passed away before the movie was released, so it was close about being released, and he just passed away. So
It was his
yeah,
last movie and he dies in the movie too, doesn't he?
Yeah, it was kind of
yeah,
awkward because like the
Yeah.
movie starts with like in memory of Lance Reddick, and I mean you're probably not even like 20 minutes into it, and he gets killed almost immediately. And it's like, yeah,
oh yeah, he
Yep.
does.
that's a little awkward.
Well, I
But
didn't know if this was going to be his last movie, anyways, as in the John Wick series. So anyway,
obviously they didn't know he was going to die when they filmed it. So
Yep.
yeah. Well,
Yeah. Well, I mean, at least it was like a respectful death scene. He didn't get like thrown through a jet engine or something like
yeah,
that. That
yeah,
would
that
have
it's
been
was
just
more awkward.
yeah.
yeah. It's good to see you so soon, Mister Wick.
Mm.
I don't even remember who that was. I've seen
Lance,
all four of them. Oh,
Lance.
okay, the
He said
concierge
he
guy.
said in the second one, when he got his house blown up.
Mm.
Yeah,
You know what I think is funny? So Jesse, like to prepare for this movie, you watched the previous three John Wick movies, right?
Yep.
And Seth, did you rewatch them at all, or did you just kind of
I've seen them so many times I could probably remember them all from memory. So
see? I think it's funny because like I also watched a movie about like a secret society of hotel owners, except it was the Grand Budapest Hotel, which
Yeah.
has nothing to do with John Wick, obviously. But
yeah,
I think it's funny like that correlation. I just watched that
Yeah.
recently, like the other day.
Yeah. Uh,
It's a good movie. If you haven't seen it, I'd say check it out. It's on HBO Max.
what was the movie called?
The Grand Budapest Hotel. It's a
Oh,
Wes
yeah,
Anderson movie.
yeah,
okay. I'm gonna check it out actually.
Yeah, it's really funny, and it's
Is it funny?
very it has like its own. Well, if you know Wes Anderson, like it's his own style. Like nobody else does anything else like him. So, but yeah. Anyway, I just thought that was a funny like parallel there. And watching this
yeah,
movie like
Yeah.
with the concierge or not the concierge, like the managers like talking to each other, like how they run their hotel and all that. Like
Yeah.
similar stuff happens in the Grand Budapest Hotel. It's yeah.
Yeah. Well, anyway. Oh, also, I did watch the movie recently. Actually, this past weekend. After I saw John Wick, I watched an older Keanu Reeves movie called Point Break.
Hmm.
That's one that's on HBO Max now. If you guys want to watch it. I heard about it a long time ago, but never seen it. I was like, I'll give it a shot. I watched it. I was like, it's pretty good. Man, I'll leave it at that. There.
Yeah, that's a movie where they fall, right?
Yeah,
He's like a cool surfer dude, but they're all criminals or something like that.
yeah. And Keanu Reeves, he's an undercover cop. So
Yeah, it's
Wasn't
like
it the
Fast
one
and
where they all
Furious,
like,
but for like X
yeah,
Games.
yeah,
basically. It was Fast and Furious before Fast and Furious was Fast and Furious, so
Hmm.
yeah. I gotta show y'all
You
this.
guys show off your swag.
Yeah. When I was
very,
at the movie theater, I bought this.
very nice.
Yeah, bought that.
I dare you to go to a hotel and hand them one of those coins and see if they give you a free room.
Yeah.
Yeah. See, I thought it was a pretty cool set, so I had to get it. So thank you AMC Theaters for this. So,
Hmm.
Seth, what was your rate on John Wick Chapter 4?
At the time, I gave it a 10 out of 10. I think if you think about it, there's a few like logical inconsistencies and stuff, like with the whole duel thing, because he says you can get out of like the assassin life if you challenge this guy to a duel. It's like, where was that for the entire second and third movie? Why didn't you just tell him that at the first point? And then
Yeah,
like I do think there's a few times when like John is almost like a Terminator. Like the first movie, he gets hurt like a lot, and like
yeah.
I still love this movie, but by the end of the fourth one, I mean he's basically invincible, and it almost takes you out of it a little bit. So I'd probably give it like a 9 out of 10. But I still loved it. I thought the movie was awesome, but there are
It was awesome.
just a
Yeah.
few logical things wrong with it, so that's why I would take it down a point.
Me, Seth, my rate same as you, 9 out of 10. I thought this was the best John Wick movie and probably one of the best action movies of the year so far. So,
Yeah, I agree.
and Trent, it's bugging me right here, bud. You kept saying you know about these characters. How? Just honestly, yeah,
It was red circles. I think that the action was pretty good. I like the top down scene. I like the stairs scene and the yeah, it's like really well choreographed action. I think it was a little slower. Maybe I'm just remembering the first one being a lot faster than what it was. But yeah, no, it was pretty good. I'd probably I'd give it an 8 out of 10. But I've just seen what I've seen in red circles, so
He's just voting based off of movie clips, right?
yep.
Yeah.
No, I've
uh,
actually seen the movie. I watched it. I watched it the other night.
I was about to say, I'm like, if we're going off a couple of movie clips, you seem to
Yeah,
know an
I,
awful
yeah,
lot.
I wasn't planning on seeing it. I got invited last minute. Not last minute, but like on the day. And I was like, well, I could tell them now that I've seen the movie so we can talk about it. But I thought, no, like maybe I should just kind of like drop like, very
Keep them in
specific details
suspense.
that they don't have like in the trailers. Like, yeah,
Well,
I
now
know
I,
about that part, but like, I just kind of
well,
deduced.
Seth, I was wondering because I was trying to keep it a secret, but that's why I said in the podcast before we started he has a special surprise for you.
Yeah, Jesse figured it out whenever we started the call. I was planning I wasn't just planning on like singling you out. I was planning on like trying to trick both of you guys. But yeah,
Yeah,
no, he figured it out because I mentioned something about like how Cape Theater has really good seats, and he's like,
yeah.
"Oh, so you've been to the theater recently?" I'm like, "Yeah, I saw John Wick."
oh,
Yeah,
yeah.
Yeah.
I wish
Well,
I
anyway,
hadn't kept asking you about spoilers then. I would have just
right.
immediately ruined
Yeah,
it
that's
for
what
you.
it,
yeah,
So,
it's
yeah,
all good.
yeah.
yeah.
I wanted to say something like, yeah, I'm looking forward to seeing him in the next one if they do it, but yeah.
Yeah. So, Trent, since you watched John Wick Chapter 4, surprisingly, are you going to see 2 and 3 now?
Hmm. Yeah,
If you
maybe.
don't, if you don't, Mr. Wick is coming to get you.
Well, he's dead.
He's invincible.
He's dead now. I mean,
No, he's not. He's not dead.
yeah,
He's invincible. Anyway, yeah. Trent, are you for real? 8 out of 10?
yeah, 8 out of 10.
You're being for real. It's an 8 out of 10.
Yeah,
Okay, okay.
yeah,
Because
and
also
and that's not.
because
I mean, there's no like really big faults with the movie. It's just like I don't generally steer towards action movies, but I think it was really well done. Kind of like Top Gun Maverick in a way. I think I gave that one a similar score.
I was so surprised you actually watched it. So,
Mhm.
yeah. But sorry, Seth. I was trying to keep it a secret. That's the reason why I kept asking Trent. You know, my spoilers. You know, because I was just one of those things. So surprise.
Yeah.
um.
I did wonder. I'm like, why does he keep asking him? Like he's already explained like once or twice now that he hasn't seen it, but he
Yeah.
already knows. But yeah,
We were trying to get you to see if you can figure it out. You know.
yeah. I
Oh
guess I
well.
wasn't thinking about it too hard.
So,
I figured you would like kind of figure that uh, that I was that I might have seen it because Jesse in the beginning was like, "Oh, Trent has a surprise."
Well, he said something about SEMO, so I'm like, I guess this has something to do with him at school, but
Oh yeah,
I'm like, I don't know
no,
what this has to do with
it
John
was
Wick
a
for.
tease. It
I
was a
went with
tease.
people from school, so
Yeah.
there's that.
So yeah, John Wick Chapter 4, good time. I loved it. It was awesome. So, uh, oh, and Brent, in the next episode, do you want to explain what we're thinking?
Yeah, so I thought it might be pretty interesting if we thought about what kind of movies that we consider to be guilty pleasures. You know, movies that
Hmm.
either like they might well guilty pleasures or underrated movies maybe like something that's generally not seen uh like well by like critics or like general audiences but stuff that we really like, you know, maybe we grew up with it or there's something in it that we see that not a lot of people think about or something like that. So yeah, I think it'd be interesting to bring up, you know, some
Yeah.
movies that we like that not everybody does.
So yeah, guilty pleasure. I might have some that I can think of. I'll just have to think about it for a little bit. But yeah, give us enough time to produce good work, like Trent
Mhm.
said in the last episode. So anyway, Seth, you got any final thing to say?
I'll be seeing you soon, Mr. Wick.
My favorite part of John Wick 4 was when he lights the candle because he's John Wick.
Oh yeah, I
Yeah.
remember
I
Uh,
leaned over to my girlfriend during the movie. I was like,
that.
John Wick. Like it took her a second. Yeah. That was my
Yeah.
favorite part.
she's like, I'm breaking up with you now.
Yep. I'm like, I'll still finish the movie.
Oh man. Oh, one last thing before I forget. I remember there's a dog scene that when that one dude shoot that one bad guy, and I remember the dog decided to pee on the villain in the
Oh
scene.
yeah.
Uh, oh, that was
That
great.
oh, we didn't even mention Clancy Brown was in it.
I mentioned the
Oh
guy getting his hand torn in half, so
Yeah.
yeah.
that was
So
Clancy Brown, wasn't it? Or is that
Clancy
entirely different?
Clancy Brown was he was the guy who was kind of orchestrating the duel. The guy with like the gray
Oh,
beard and the
yeah.
yeah, voice of Mr. Krabs from
The
SpongeBob.
Amish looking
Yeah.
guy.
yeah.
Yeah, that was another thing I leaned over to my girlfriend because I you know I'm the guy that's like, oh, you know, that actor was in this. I'm like, you know, that guy voices Mr. Krabs on SpongeBob. She's like, no.
It would have been funny if they
Yeah.
gave him like the like the crab sound it makes whenever he walks in SpongeBob.
Yeah,
Be
there was
funny if
Yeah.
one
they.
line where he said manager or like you're the new manager or something like that, and like I loved it because it made me
He
think of
hands him a
Mr. Krabs.
spatula.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Oh man. Hmm.
Or if they have like
Yeah, he
a
did good in the movie.
Continental McDonald's or something, or a high table McDonald's,
Mm,
like a Clancy Brown guy runs all of them.
yeah.
Evil
Oh,
burgers.
yeah.
They blow them up when the ice cream machine doesn't work.
Yeah. Cook ice cream machine
Huh.
shoots out bullets instead of ice cream or something like that.
Yeah. Evacuate the McDonald's, evacuate the play place.
Yep.
John Wick like sliding down a tube
I would love to
into the
see
ball
a whole.
pit.
I would watch an entire movie if it was just John Wick playing in a kid's McDonald's play place.
If I saw a poster for John Wick goes to McDonald's, I would buy a ticket right away. It doesn't matter what I'm
Absolutely.
doing.
That's right.
I would walk right in, sit my happy butt down and watch it.
Yeah. Oh man.
So on that note, yeah, pretty good movie.
Yeah. Pretty good movie. Really enjoyed it. Wouldn't mind seeing John Wick and SpongeBob. Well, Oh, Seth, to the bottom to the top, for John Wick.
Are you talking about my ranking for the four?
Yeah, yeah.
I think
Bottom to the top.
it's probably my. I like them all. I think my least favorite is probably two, because it was very similar to both three and four, and how like it got ridiculous. I just felt like the action. If you're gonna go ridiculous, you might as well go over the top, and I felt like that one just didn't do nearly as good a job. So I'll go two. Uh, I liked one because it was more believable, I guess. And then
Yeah,
I really liked three, but like four just kind of blew that one out of the water. So be two,
yeah,
one, three,
absolutely.
four.
Yeah,
My
absolutely.
my
For me, it's,
ranking my ranking would be 4 and 1 tied for first place, and then 2 and 3 are terrible because I haven't seen them, so they're
yeah,
tied for the
man.
bottom.
They're just in movie purgatory
Yeah,
in
Yeah.
limbo.
Me is 3, 1, 2, and 4.
3, 1, 2, 4.
Yeah.
From the bottom to the top.
Yeah.
Hmm.
Well, guys, there's nothing else to say. Thank you all clicking for the only just go podcast. That's my best John Wick impression.
Pencils. That's
Yes.
mine.
Yeah.
What does he say?
Uh,
Consequences.
Consequences.
There will be consequences if you do not like and subscribe right now.
Like,
Please.
We
Please
really
like.
need it. Yeah, like we're
here's a
desperate.
pencil.
Yeah.
It's
Please.
not a number two, but
Yeah. And please like, comment, and subscribe if this type of stuff you're into, and we love the support we can get. So
yeah, comment whatever you want. It doesn't even have to make sense.
yeah,
We love to
exactly.
read them.
Yeah. Well, I'm assuming there's nothing else to say. Thank you guys again for clicking to one only After School Podcast. This is Jesse Johns.
This is Trent Kelsey,
This is Seth Kirkman.
and away we go.
Goodbye.
Be seeing you soon, Mr. Wick.
I'll try to do the same.